everyone, this is Joe Workman, and I am excited to show you the Tardis stack. Now, if you've been around me any amount of time, you probably know that I am an automation fiend, right? I like to automate as much things as possible. I mean, I have over 150 products. I need automation, right? So, I get a lot of customers coming to me all the time saying, I'd want to be able to automate this content so that, I can schedule content to be displayed at particular points in time. And that's exactly what Tardis solves for us. It allows us to display our content on websites based on time. So let's see exactly what Tardis does for us. So here we are in the Tardis demo file, and we'll see that Tardis is a 3-stack set. The first stack is called Tardis, and that allows you to control your content based on a start date and an end date. And then you can display content whether or not the content shows before, during, and after that time period. The Tardis Days stack allows you to define exactly which days and even times of those days that your content will be displayed. For example, on this page, we see that I have an open for business sign. This is configured to be displayed 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Anything outside of that, I can actually show different content. And lastly, we have the Tardis Time stack. And this allows you to display time, localize time, in many, many different formats. So here we have a really simple example of Tardis. I've added a text stack inside Tardis, and basically what I want to do is I want to configure my time zone and then the actual start date on when that content will be displayed. As you see here, it's set to November 25th, 2014. Now, since it's currently December 11th right now, if I preview my page, the content will be displayed because it's showing after the start date. Next, I can actually add a stop time. So if I want to stop showing this particular content on a particular day, then I can do that. So now this content will only show in between the start day and the end time. Now, if you want more control, you can actually add a before match. So what this means is that if your current date is in between the start date and the end date, the during content will be displayed. However, if the current date is before your start date has begun, then the before content will be displayed. And in this situation, if the time is after your end time, nothing will be displayed. However, we can fix that too. Now, if you add an after match, you can now display different content before, during, and after your configured times. Now let's have a look at the Tardis Days stack. Now, as we see in Tardis Days, you can define the days of the week that you'd like your content to be displayed. And if you'd like, you can also add a time window so that not only the days of the week, but also at particular times throughout the day, the content will be displayed. Now also you can add a content outside match. This allows us to do open for business and sorry we're closed messages for Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, not only can we do days of the week, but we can also do days of the month. And what this allows us to do is configure up to 5 different days of the month to display a particular piece of content. Now, there's also an option for doing the last day of the month. Because each month has a different last day, this allows you to say, on the last day of the month, display this particular content. Now, when you set the day number to 0, that essentially disables that day. So in this particular example, I'm going to display my content on the 1st and the 15th of the month. Now, you can also use the add time window. So if you want to do the 1st, the 15th, and then in between a particular time window, you can do that as well. Now, the last stack in the set is the Tardis Time stack. And this allows us to really configure an exact date string that we'd like to display. First off, let's look at the settings. You could define your locale so that you can actually customize the date for your language. You then choose the time zone in which you want the date to be displayed. You can add a label, which is basically text that you can prepend to the date. And then lastly, do you want to display the current time or the actual date that this web page was last published on? Now, we're not going to go through all the formats, but there are tons of different formats that you can now configure the date for. And you can configure different formats for the date and the time. So if you just want to display the date, you can do that. If you want to display just the date and the time, you can do that as well. And also at the bottom is some basic formatting options so that you can configure the size, the alignment, and the color of the actual date text. So there we have it. That's Tardis. As you see, it has a lot of flexibility to schedule your content. Maybe it's office hours. Maybe you want to schedule a sale, and as soon as the sale's over, you take down the content that displays information about the sale. Display thank you messages. It really allows you a lot of flexibility for not having to worry about waiting for a particular date and changing the content on your page. Just do it, right? And what's beautiful is Tardis is all done on the server. It's all done with PHP, so that all that extra content is never ever shipped down to the browser at all. Only the content that is actually matched inside the time will actually be sent down to the browser. So this is a huge win. I hope that you use it. I hope that it saves you lots and lots of time. And without further ado, have a great day. I hope you enjoy Tardis, and thank you very much. Bye.